Alright everybody, hello and welcome. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, our 123rd episode of our Isle of Man save today. If you haven't gone back and watched the previous episodes from this week, yesterday's and Monday's introducing the squad, go and check them out. They will help you out quite a bit in understanding where we're at and how we've been travelling so far. Things have improved just a tiny bit from yesterday's episode, but it's only been a couple of games off screen. We're going to jump in and have a look pretty much straight away. We've got two big fixtures today, but we want to try and get maximum points in. So, as you guys can see here, just above my head, we are just sitting in 11th spot, just sneaking our way behind the board that I'm displayed on here. 9 games played, 4 wins, 1 draw, 4 defeats in that time. We've gotten ourselves back to a +1 goal difference, which is great. I think we were -6 in yesterday's episode when it finished up, and 13 points with 2 very good victories. Of course, in yesterday's episode, not getting knocked out of the Carabao Cup, our reserve squad effectively played and lost on penalties to Wolves, and then we lost to a very good Manchester United side 2-0. Thankfully, we have turned it around a little bit. Bristol City beating them 5-0 and Brentford 4-2. Now, how have we done that, you might ask? We've just gone back to a very basic structure. We played attacking in both of those games because they are 2 weaker sides in the division. We've got defenders defending, midfielders supporting, and our striker and attacking mentality, and that's pretty much the only one on the pitch. We are probably going to mix that up and take this same philosophy and apply it to our positive structure, which has a few less instructions. It's a little bit deeper in terms of the setup on the pitch itself, but otherwise the personnel are the same. The player roles are effectively the same. It's just a couple of different team instructions and mentalities that are different. What that has meant is that Gary Lester has come back into midfield. He's done quite well actually in the last 2 games. He was the best player on the park last time out against Brentford. So maybe we're in a position where our midfield 5 can kind of be a little bit stronger if we go for 2 similar roles at the base, and then instead of an advanced playmaker, an attacking midfielder to try and support the attacks where possible. It should be noted that those 2 victories are against like the 19th and 20th side in the division at the moment, 2 sides that were promoted last year into the Premier League. So there is potential that there's something of a false dawn, but I think it also kind of gives credence to the fact that we need to go out and attack teams and go after it a little bit to try and find the back of the net. We're not necessarily at a stage where that many sides under a positive mentality we're going to simply beat due to the quality of our play or the quality of our players. We're not quite at that level yet, but still things are progressing nicely. You can see we've got quite a few 4-star players, a few getting to 3.5-star role ability as well. If we can get most of the squad to 3.5-star, 4-star, we might be setting ourselves up to, within this same group, have like a proper effective European challenge next term. We have to start taking a bit more of a long-term focus. I've spent a lot of money over the last 2 seasons. I really need to give them the time and trust the process a little bit in terms of getting that team out on the park and letting them consistently improve. Aguirre, we're still leaving him out at the moment for that discretion going to the club and not rocking up to training. That's not really what we need, and his potential ability and real ability have dropped off quite a bit over the last month or so anyway. His training performances haven't been great, so we might be looking to cash in on him come January. Rivero's also had a knock as well. We've left him out of the side for a little bit, and Phillips has come in and done relatively well in those 2 victories. Today we will play Tottenham, who are in 6th position, one of the sides up in the European spots at the minute, and Everton, who are down in 16th. As we look at the table, it's very tight at the top, so Tottenham effectively being 6th position isn't really that different to 3rd, 4th, 5th or 7th at the moment. Chelsea also sniffing around that group, and Bournemouth not miles away. We are 4 points behind them. So if we do want to realistically start keeping touch with those teams in the top 7, we want to try and get as many points as we can before we hit that very, very busy Christmas period where it will be a struggle to get a fit team out on the park every week. Everton, in the next game, they're sitting down in 16th. They haven't had the best start to the season, but also not miles behind us. If they win their 2 games in this episode, they will leapfrog us and go into the top 10. Around the division, the big surprise, I think, is Southampton. They're still undefeated, 9 games played. Of course, dispatching of us comfortably 4-1 in that run as well. They've had some big victories against the likes of Everton, Watford and Bristol in that run as well. I've mentioned him a couple of times, but Henry Blaise is, I think, maybe the greatest ever winger I've seen in Football Manager. Look at these traits here for even an inverted winger or an inside forward. 18 crossing, 19 dribbling, 16 first touch, 18 technique, 18 off the ball, 20 determination, 16 flair, 19 acceleration, 18 pace, 20 agility, 16 natural fitness. He tore us apart when we played Liverpool, and each time we've come up against him, he has been absolutely phenomenal. No surprise really that he is up towards the goals. I think he got a hat-trick against stuff, if I remember correctly. Only thing of note from our players is that Esteban's got 5 yellow cards already, 9 games into the season. He has already served 1 suspension for that. He will come back into the lineup today. But magic of editing, we're going to jump forward now and have a look at the lineup for the match against Tottenham. Now, first looking at our side, we're going to go with our positive mentality, see how we go, and then we have that escalation point to go attacking if things aren't quite going our way. But in reality, we want to go down swinging. I don't think we really want to get into scenarios where we use that counter-attacking mentality at all, especially not at home. it might be something that we build towards for like European away legs eventually once we get to that stage. So it does mean Mancini in goal. I brought Carlos Andre back in at left back because Medjugorje just really struggling so far early in the season. And to be fair, we won both the 2 games that Carlos Andre started, so he will continue at left back, Cedron at right back, and Mokhtar and Esteban as the defensive partnership there. Leicester and Henry will anchor midfield together, and Barbosa will play as the attacking midfielder just ahead of them. Ortiz on the left wing has started very, very well so far this season. He is our leading assist maker for the season, and Peacock over on the right has scored a couple of important goals over the last couple of months. Phillips will lead the line up top, though we do have Teddy Bloor, who we might use as a backup striker in the absence of Rivera, still struggling with that knock. Tottenham playing a 4-3-3. It is Pep Guardiola's Tottenham. There's been a bit of a managerial merry-go-round at various points throughout the course of this series. I think Zidane's still at United. Jurgen Klopp, I think, has been at Juventus for a couple of seasons. It's a very, very different makeup to the current real-life world. As far as their midfield is concerned, or their starting 11, only Ryan Gravenberch, the sole holdout from the original database, now 31 years of age. I think he starts at 16. Turned into quite the midfielder, 4-star current ability and potential. He's a very, very good player. He's had quite the career. He was at Ajax for a few seasons. He eventually went to Southampton, then Wolfsburg, and now back at Tottenham as he gets into his 30s and his career winds down a little bit. Up top, they've got Mendoza, who is an absolute beast, 21-year-old Argentine forward. Either-footed, very interestingly, 4-star current ability, 5-star potential. He had previously been a wonder kid. They only picked him up 2 seasons ago. Haven't played him that much, but 17 finishing, 17 first touch. He was briefly on our radar, but we were never able to afford him at the time that he was getting brought across from Velez. They've got 2 great wingers as well. They've got Bruno Madana, who's scored against us quite a few times already in the last couple of seasons. He's a striker by trade. They're playing him as an inverted winger on that left-hand side. Very good technical attributes. We'll have to keep an eye on that. And over on the other side, Juninho takes the other share of the attacking burden. 22-year-old Brazilian youth international, 4.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential as well. He looks to be a very handy player as well. 20 finishing jumps out at you immediately, 16 dribbling, 16 first touch. Also comfortable as an advanced forward, but they're using him as maybe a Ram Deter or a winger on this right-hand side. It is a very strong attacking front three. We'll have to be at our best defensively to beat them. Assertively, we're going to say we owe Tottenham after what happened in our last match. Go out there and get revenge. And thankfully, everyone has responded positively to that. I'm not holding out too much hope for this game. I know Tottenham are quite good, but we have been in a better run of form. We have found the back of the net with regularity over the last couple of games. Maybe if we perform to the best of our abilities, we can try and get something out of this fixture, or at least hold our own a little bit against one of the better sides in the league. Through 35 minutes without anything happening, we're going to use our demand more shout just to hopefully give everyone some focus through to half-time. If Tottenham immediately have a highlight, we know that we've made the wrong call. They've had some frustrating feedback from their touchline, and we get through to half-time without a single highlight. 2 shots, 1 on target, 33% of the ball for us. 1 shot, 1 on target, 67% for Tottenham. A lot of the ball, but not doing a lot with it. We're going to assertively say, I'm happy with your performance so far. Keep it up, and hopefully that little boost to everyone's morale and confidence means we can hold out for a couple more minutes. As always, we'll give it to the hour mark before we look at subs. First highlight of the game, 50th minute. It's a header back across here from Jalson, and then everyone just leaves the ball to go back to Tottenham's possession. Looked like Barbosa was the only one really trying to win it back. Mueller goes forward to Sepulveda. All the way back to Mueller again. Don't overcommit to the press, boys, and we don't, thankfully. Ibrahim now to Maidana. He's going to look to try and stand up here. Peacock running that triangle, doing those doggies in midfield, stopping the long ball forward. Jalson steps inside, looks for Gravenberch, and he looks to send Maidana over to the left-hand side. He has gotten goal side, but it's a wide right area, and thankfully Mancini had his angles covered, saves and hold. Throwing now, right-hand side, Omyonga coming forward for Tottenham. Diarmada with a deep ball towards Maidana, back stick. Cedron's managed to keep it out. Ibrahim with the ball on the overlap. Closed down well again by Cedron, who's had a good little passenger play, but Jalson takes it around him. And then Peacock with an excellent challenge manages to get back and help out his fullback. Right, we're through an hour mark now, so we're going to have a quick look at subs and see who's struggling for the most impact on the game. See, Ortiz struggled a little bit. We might bring on Elliot Bloor, who of course previously played at Tottenham before he joined us. Maybe we can get a little bit of a boost to the commentary saying he's scored against his former club. Quite a bit of the midfield's actually struggling at the moment. Barbosa hasn't had a great game. We might bring on Mariano Oru, play him as an advanced playmaker, which is his preference. And as tempting as it is to go attacking, I'm going to stay on positive, even though Tottenham seem to be ramping up the pressure just a little bit. We're going to use that. We're also going to use our Get Creative shout, try and give everyone some inspiration, and a few have responded positively, which is great to see. No further highlights as we get into the last 10 minutes. We're going to hit pause again. I'm going to make that last sub. Scott Phillips has struggled. Jimmy Winter can do a job up top. So we might do that. We might give him a chance to play as an advanced forward, see if he can't just try and find something off the shoulder in the last 10 minutes. We might go a little bit more direct as well in that build-up. We're also going to use our demand more shout. Let's see if we can't hold on and defend like a proper Premier League side for 10 minutes here. Got a free kick. Max Sandro from deep. Sepulveda with the header, thankfully just over the crossbar. Keeper did look to be scrambling as it sailed over. 3 minutes of additional time. They've got a corner here as well. Sepulveda near post, and they've flicked it on for the first goal of the match. It's gone down as an own goal for Mancini. It says own goal off him. I wonder if this came off one of our defenders and maybe hit Mancini. Sepulveda with the initial header, and I'm not sure how you could call that an own goal. And it was Mariano Oru, unfortunately. Although there is a highlight here in the 90th minute, immediately from our kickoff. Mokhtar with the ball. Although back to Mancini. If we're going to do something with it, we need to do it quickly. Mokhtar into Henry. Ball over the top for Jimmy Winter. This is what we talked about when we brought him on. Can he find the finish? Oh, he's clipped the base of the post and he's gotten to the rebound and run it out. A goal. Just that little bit of luck for maybe it to hit the inside of the post and make its way in. Hasn't gone our way. And the referee calls full time. In the end, 9 shots, 5 on target, 40% possession. Tottenham, 6 shots, 3 on target, 60% of the ball. It's credited as a Mancini own goal. I don't think he did anything wrong for it. And I'm just going to say, unlucky boys, you did all right. And really, we did limited quite a few of their opportunities until really like the hour mark. Maybe that's on me. Maybe I should have been a bit more aggressive with 30 minutes remaining, trying to make the most of the space that they were leaving him behind. Does see us drop down to 14th spot, 4 victories, 1 draw, 5 defeats, but we do get an opportunity to try and get 3 points back against Everton in a couple of days. Tottenham move up, or Tottenham stay in 6th position, up onto 20 points now. That gap is now 7 points between us and the other teams in the European places. Southampton remain undefeated, and United actually lost to Brighton 3-1 randomly out of nowhere. Absolutely crazy. Sepulveda gets the Man of the Match award. He, I think, got the header for Tottenham that led to the goal. And Phillips vows to end his goal drought. He's now up to 10 games, which isn't great. Maybe Rivera will be back for the next match and we can try and bring him in. We've got a full week till the Everton game, which will help us quite a bit. Magic of editing, though, we're going to jump forward to the game against Everton and look at the 2 lineups now. All right, and just like that, we are a week ahead. We got through the week without picking up any extra injuries, which is great. We're going to bring Rivera back in as the one change up top, just because Phillips has really struggled to find the back of the net. Otherwise, it is effectively an unchanged lineup from the last fixture, and we are switching it up and going to our attacking mentality to really trying to go after an Everton side that has struggled to pick up wins down in 16th spot. I say down in 16th spot like we aren't in 14th, like it's a massive distance between the two of us. They're playing a very aggressive 4-2-4 though, very similar to like the original shape that we played back in like the lower divisions when we were just trying to outscore teams. We've got one holdout here, Bella Kotchap, 31-year-old German defender. Looks solid, good ball-playing defender. Some alright technical attributes, good mental attributes, okay physicals as well, now that he's crossed that threshold of being 31. Looks like he's had quite a career though. Starts off at Bochum, then was at Chelsea, Aston Villa, Brighton, Bournemouth. Made the jump from Bournemouth to Barcelona for a good few seasons in there, and has come back to Everton for this season to probably run down the rest of his career. He's got a 3-year deal, so you'd think he's probably going to finish up under this contract. They've also got Dirk Proper, 31-year-old Dutch midfielder on loan from Newcastle United, interestingly. Again, looks solid, nothing super spectacular. He's had quite the career as well. He was at NEC, then Napoli, Leicester, Leeds, Newcastle and Everton since making the jump across to England. Don't have anyone on here that says they're the leading assist maker. Their leading scorer is actually Bella Kotchap. I didn't notice that before. But their highest average rated player is Guillermo Sanchez, who's also their leading assist maker for the season. Colombian midfielder, looks to be very good technically. 4-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. He's been at Everton now for a few seasons, so he will be used to the rapid pace of the Premier Division, no doubt. Assertively, we're going to say we owe Everton after what happened in our last match. I think that really just goes to show how poor we were in that run home last season, that so many of these sides, before each game, were able to say we owe them after what happened last time out. Ortiz with the corner. Barbosa got forward from the edge of the area. Header was good, but just had to get back down and couldn't do it before it crossed over the line. Barbosa with the ball here again from the throw-in. Cedron's picked it up. Plays it across to Henry and looks to send Peacock in behind. Can he go near post at Rivera? It's an excellent save from, I don't know his name there, the goalkeeper for Everton, Moxon. Rivera hit it first time. It was near post. It had a bit of venom on it, but he managed to push it around the post for the corner. Peacock works the short corner and clears it straight into the man that's marking him for another opportunity. Hopefully Ortiz will try and get the ball in the box this time. No, he's gone to Peacock again. Tries to cut it back and it's cut out by Sanchez, who gives it straight back by way of throw-in. Corner again, had quite a few highlights in the opening 10 minutes, haven't really made them count just yet. Barbosa with the opportunity to put it back in. Henry, now Leicester. Rivera to Peacock. We've got another overlap on the right if we work this correctly. Ortiz gets it back on his left and goes for the drive. It wasn't miles away. You can see the keeper scrambling to try and get across to his far post. Through 30 minutes now, without any further highlights, we're going to use Get Creative just to try and inspire everyone to try and find a goal before halftime. Most players have responded positively, which is great to see. But for both sides, the highlights have been pretty slow going since that opening 10 to 15 minute flurry. We do have one here though, thrown on the right hand side into injury time of the first half. Ball comes to Henry, now to Leicester. Got numbers on the right hand side if we work this correctly, or the switch might be on to this left hand side. Good ball in behind for Rivera. Didn't have much of an angle to work with. It was a good save again from Moxon, who's having a good game in the Everton goal, just to push it around for the corner. Ortiz will now take. He's looked towards back stick. It managed to hit the deck somehow before Bergon flicks on the header. And while we've had a lot of highlights, we haven't had the finishing necessary. 0 at half time, Everton have had 5 shots, 3 on target, 39% possession. For us, 10 shots, 5 on target, and 61% of the ball. Passionately, we're going to say I'm happy with the performance so far. The only thing that's missing is that final finish to get us the goal. We've had a couple of great opportunities for Rivera. We might just keep things as they are, and then we'll give it 15 minutes before we look at making subs. I think it's telling as well that Everton's best player on the park at the moment is their goalkeeper, Moxon. Though they do have a corner here. It's going to be Sanchez to take. He's gone to a good area, and Bella Kotchat, 4th goal of the season for him. He's their leading scorer, and he has added another one to the books for this season. Not the best marking from everyone. We'll check it out here in 3 dimensions. It's not a terrible ball towards a penalty spot, but we had 2 or 3 guys around it. It was actually 2 Everton players going for the same ball, and for some reason it's Lua Barbosa that was marking effectively their best scorer. Got a throw in here, very deep on our side. Rivera for some reason has taken it. He's picked up possession now again. Looks to bring on Carlos Andre. Henry gets taken out inside the box. We're going to check this one with VAR, and they've given us the penalty. It's going to be Rivera to take. He has missed 1 penalty already this season. Wasn't the greatest effort. Will he go the right way this time? Thankfully, the keeper's done us a favour and gotten out of the road of it. Rivera with his 3rd goal from the club. And we might actually take him off because I know that he's struggling for a little bit of fitness. He wasn't suggested to get through 90 minutes. So we'll take him off and bring on Phillips. And then we're also going to make another change. Carlos Andre struggling a little bit. We'll bring on Medjadou at left back. Esteban struggling. Ortiz struggling. There's a few different players out there that we might have to look to take off on yellow cards as well as we get towards the 80th minute. I'm going to use our Get Creative shout. Let's try and use the momentum from the penalty to find a go-ahead goal. A draw doesn't really help out either side at the moment. Highlight here. Ball out left to Ortiz. Oh, he's lost out in possession, and Artur has won it back and sent it down in the channel for Cassiano. I think Everton have changed their shape a little bit. Mancini with a great save, and then Cedron gets it clear. 10 minutes remain. We're going to make that last sub. Judging by player rating, Peacock, the player that's not played that well, we're going to bring on Jimmy Winter just to try and get some fresh legs and a bit more ingenuity on that right-hand side. As things currently stand, we do move up to 12th spot, but if we can get the additional 2 points, we might even, we'll stay in 12th, but we'll at least lessen the gap to teams like Bournemouth and Arsenal just ahead of us. I'm going to use a Get Creative shout with 10 minutes remaining. I've been spamming that one quite a bit lately. We'll see if we get a response out of the playing group. Right, very deep throwing on the right-hand side. Can we find Barbosa, who's on his own in a good little pocket of space? Square ball to Leicester, edge of the area. Goes to strike himself. Barbosa thankfully recovers. Now to Henry, all the way back through to Esteban. Just have to wait for him to commit. We've gone all the way back to Mancini and goal. Work it out to the left now, please. Instead, he's gone long on the right, and Alba's cut it out. Thankfully, Esteban read the play very well to recover possession. Now Henry out to Ortiz left wing. Can he square it up for a teammate? Instead, he goes to strike himself. Just get to the byline. Square it up to the 6-yard box. We've got people there for the tap-in. Barbosa's forward. Leicester's going to recover the ball here in midfield. Now Barbosa again. Back to Henry. Ball left out wide to Ortiz. Cut back to Henry. Can we square it up again? Back to Leicester now. Top of the box. Looking to work an opportunity. Falls to Phillips. Then Winter just drives that one just past the near post. Really, that is an opportunity that we need to try and finish late in the game. And 94 minutes is played. Referee calls full time. It's 1-1. 11 shots, 7 on target, 44% possession for Everton. One real highlight for them in terms of striking opportunities that they scored from. 18 shots, 9 on target, 56% possession for us. Another game where we've just struggled to finish the opportunities we're creating. Assertively, we're going to say I'm far from pleased, and most have responded positively. It's Cedron and Leicester that have responded negatively, which, it's going to happen. Where does that put us in the division? We go up to 12th spot, still on 0 goal difference, 4 wins, 2 draws, and 5 defeats from our games played. 14 points isn't terrible, but you can already see there's a gap starting to form amongst the top 10, and there's a bigger gap starting to form amongst those teams sitting around 7th, 6th, and 5th, which is where we want to kind of be aiming for. Everton hold out for draws. The story of the match, Guillermo Sanchez at 7.5 gets the player of the game. And it's not ideal for us. We've got a little bit of a gap before we play any big proper teams, but I think what we might do is we might play Newcastle off screen. We'll probably play Leeds off screen, who are in 5th spot, and then we'll come back and do Bournemouth and Arsenal, mainly because they're only just ahead of us in the table. You can see Bournemouth, if we win our other games, we might be a little bit closer to Bournemouth and able to leapfrog them. And we're only 6 points behind Arsenal as well in 7th position. Goal difference will come into it. We're still on 0 because when we've lost like by a few goals. When we win, we just seem to scrape it. But that will set us up for a nice little home spell in the next episode. And we might try and figure out at that point how we can best position ourselves to go in this attacking structure. Maybe we just use this at home and we go positive away from home or against top 6 sides. We've got some stuff to test out. We've got some analysis to do as well. There might be, maybe we take out like shorter passing and just have it be very basic instructions in possession. Or maybe we alter the way we're doing the press a little bit, like we just let the goalkeeper have it and drop off and get back in our line. There's a couple of different tweaks we can do, a couple of different things we can look at for tomorrow's episode and see if we can't pick up some improved results. Not the greatest results in terms of the games played, but I do think we are improving a little bit. We had that poor run and we're kind of getting a handle back on the game again and being a bit more involved. We're not getting torn apart by sides, which is very, very helpful. We'll, of course, have episodes tomorrow and Friday and all throughout the next week as we try and get through our 3rd season in the Premier Division and hopefully jump up the table a little bit. If you want to be kept up to date on all those videos, you can subscribe to the channel, or if you want to help celebrate what has been a phenomenal series thus far, you can also drop a like on this one. More than anything though, I just appreciate you guys watching. As always, I've been Sean and I'll see you all again in the mixer.